Welcome to another styling video. My goal for today is to do something that is easy, doesn't take a super long time, and then I can convert to something else. So here we are with my hair. I have just washed and conditioned it, and I think it's looking pretty good. First thing is to section off my hair. Finally finished parting off my hair here. It does take a while to get this, and all I've done was part off this and part off this top section here, and then this middle section. But I do like to have fairly clean parts because otherwise then the hair catches and it is not fun at all. What have I done here? Okay, so I am gonna wrap this part around the back for a hot second. I already used this leave-in conditioner on my hair, but I know I'm gonna need a little extra love, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this ORS lotion. I just want a little bit of protection on my hair before adding the next product, which I think will help to bring this together. And I'm actually gonna split this into two sections here. Next, I am going to go in with some Design Essentials Curl Forming Custard. Just want a little bit. I'm just gonna really get that all throughout the hair here. Make sure I really have it saturated. Just want it to be nice and smooth. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start twisting it because I want to do a Bantu knot. So I'm really just gonna keep until I get the knot started. And then we are going to try and lay it as flat as possible. All right, I had to go off camera and do it. Will this stay? I don't know. I hope so. It doesn't have anything except the knot holding it together, but we shall see. I've got two. I think that's the best I'm gonna get. I hope I don't bump them, and I hope they stay in place. I'll see if I can repeat the process on this side. Need to not pull it as I'm doing it. Just kind of place it, place it, place it, place it, and then you pull on the last revolution. I am glad I decided to only do 4 Bantu knots because that took me way longer than I thought it would. But that is done, hurrah. And now I can deal with the rest of my hair. This looks cute, but that's not really what I want. I want more of a pulled back style. So Let's see. Even though it's a nice day today, I just don't think it is warm enough yet for me to put my hair in like a wash and go-esque style. I just don't want my ends to get tangled up after I went to all the trouble of detangling everything. They knot up if I just let them be out. See how they like to cling together, and then that turns into a knot. And then it is more difficult to do. So I'd rather kind of stretch my hair out a little bit first and then do a braid out instead. I am gonna put a little bit of this CeraMin, a little extra protection against the gel. And I'm gonna be using the Big Papa. It is not my favorite gel, but it works okay for slick back styles and it smells good. So that's why we're doing it. And you'll notice as I just kind of work the gel in here without pulling it tight, it already starts to kind of slick my hair back. And as long as I just kind of put it on the edges and not on throughout my hair, then that seems to be good. Okay, so that gives me a nice base to work from. All right, I am all done with the braiding, and I'm just gonna add a teeny tiny bit more gel on the sides to just kind of slick it down, because I think if you use this or Eco Styler, either one of them, it doesn't really matter. The weight of it does a good job of just kind of slicking everything down so you have nice, sleek sides. And I have noticed that it doesn't feel as drying if I put some kind of oil or leave-in conditioner before I put the gel on, because otherwise it's drying. And I mean, it'll still probably be a little tacky, but it'll be better than it was. This is super cute, but this wouldn't be a look unless I add accessories. Here's the necklace I'm gonna be using. And we're going to go ahead and add some jewelry. That is super cute. I don't want to overdo it, so we're not going to do more than that, but I love that. Next, of course, are earrings. It's almost complete as it is, but I want to add just a little bit of lipstick. I have a few different shades here because I am going to layer them. I'm going to start off with this as my base, because if you look at my lips, they actually extend all the way down here. And if I line all of that, it just looks weird. So this actually kind of helps just make everything super neutral, and I don't have to worry too much about how it looks when I put it on. As you can see, now my lips have kind of disappeared into my face. And that's exactly what we want, because that's the perfect base to put this one on. And now I have just a little bit of a rosy undertone. It's just a little bit more red. This is the Palladio Ginger Flush. I've had this for forever. I have two reds here. This one looks darker, but it actually is more like a light red, and this one looks lighter, but it's actually a dark red. So this is the Red Rush, and we are going to add this because it's been a long time since I wore a bright red lip, and I just love a bright red lip. And you can see the layering just makes this super creamy. I love it. I can't put it on camera because if I can't see what I'm doing up close, it's just gonna be a disaster. But as you can see, I have not lined the bottom part of my lip, and that's part of the reason we did that other color, because now it's disappeared into my face. You can't see it. If you line that bottom part, it just looks strange. All right, we've got one more to go, and that's this guy. And you can see it's actually more of a pinky red. And what we're gonna do with this is just gonna put it on the inside, right, like in the inside right here. And I know you can barely see it, but it just gives that finishing touch. So we have this beautiful red lip We lined it really, really nicely. We don't have it overlined and make a funny shape. I have this belt and these shoes to complete the look, and I'll take you outside with me in just a moment so you can see how it all comes together. As you can see, it took a little trial and error to pull this off, but I was determined and confident that I could do it because number one, I have done Bantu knots before, and this time I just figured that if I tried a little bit harder, I could get them to sit a little bit more the way I want. I still would like them to be really flat, but more practicing will be required. This is a pretty good compromise for now. Number two, I gave myself plenty of time. If I'm trying something that I haven't really done before for the first time, it generally works out better if I either practice it ahead of time on a day where I'm not going anywhere, or if I have time, just spend that time working on the style so that I'm not rushing if it's not working out and thinking, oh no, I only have 10 minutes. Oh no, I only have 5 minutes. Oh no, I'm gonna be late. But this way, I had plenty of time. If it didn't work, I would just try again, and I'm not getting more frustrated with each attempt. I'm just realizing that I am learning the technique as I go along. It's like, didn't work the first time? Okay, try the second, try the third. And since I have time to be patient and work through it and understand what's not working and understand how to fix it, then it gets progressively better instead of progressively worse. I really love how this came out. You saw how the whole outfit went together with the boots and everything. Here's what it looks like at the back, just plain and simple, nothing too crazy, just your 2 braids, because I don't want to spend the time that I did putting my hair into the style and then only having it being able to be worn for 1 day. I want to be able to transform it and then be able to reuse aspects of it as I go along. I'll see you in a bit with an update. That the Bantu knots actually stayed all night overnight. Now this one did get just a little bit lopsided, but I'm glad I went with my instinct and just used my bonnet instead of putting a scarf or anything on that I think would have smushed them and really got them out of place. They were preserved fairly well, and now it's time for me to do a braid out with the Dutch braids that I made yesterday. This look for today isn't going to be as edgy. I want it to be more whimsical. So first off, an outfit change. And here we are, already looking so much more whimsical because of the bright colors. It feels very springtime. Now the next step, of course, is to take these braids out. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on my hands as I'm taking out my braids, just to give me just a little extra slip because I don't want to really have a hard time taking them out here. Okay, that is one side. It's already looking even more whimsical, and these came out really, really nice. I didn't really put any gel intentionally in this section, although I did slick back the sides, of course, as you saw yesterday, and I use a lot of gel on the top. And the reason for that is I didn't want to use any pins or anything to hold it down. I was hoping the gel would be enough to keep everything in place, and it has been, so that is great. But whatever gel was on my hands probably did get transferred a little bit to the braid that I had made here, and it's looking good. Some of the ends are sticking together just a little bit, but I can just kind of gently separate them, and then that's one side done. Also, the gel allowed for me to be able to not have as much tension with the way I did the Bantu knots. In the past when I've tried them, it's hurt so bad, but the last time I did them, I figured out a way for it to not hurt, and then this time, again, with the twirling and laying them and everything, the gel held everything in place without having to rely as much on the tension, which meant that I have had no tension, no headaches, no pain, no nothing. So proper technique and the right products when you do a style like this makes all the difference. Now we have gone ahead and taken all the braids out, and as you can see, they came out pretty good here. I will probably separate just a little bit more so in the back because, as you will see, we did the 2 French braids, so I have this giant line right down here, which is not the most attractive thing. So I'm going to separate a little bit in the back here and then try to pin the back together so that I can kind of get rid of some of the harshness of that line. With a little pinning and moving things around, it still retains the fullness. I really haven't separated a whole lot, just here and there where it needed it. And you can see at the back, I've kind of taken parts from here, crossed them over, parts from here, crossed them over. I just separated some things down the back to give me a little fullness and hide that middle line. And now it's time for our favorite part, adding some whimsy. I have these cute little butterfly earrings. There we go. Now they're not showing as much against my dark hair, but if you view me from the side and you see them against my skin, then they really do pop. And of course, that's not the last thing we're gonna do. I just want to kind of round out the top of my head a little bit. And since I don't wanna mess with the hair here, we're gonna do it with accessories. Matching our theme. There's one. Oh, so cute. Okay, so those two next to each other are adorable. Ooh, flowers would be so cute on this side. So I'm just gonna kind of, I wanna open it a little bit so it goes in, and then I'm just gonna try and, there you go. Get that to just kind of disappear in my hair because I don't want us to see this nice bright silver bobby pin. So we're gonna just do another one right next to it. If I can get it to cooperate here. There we go. So these are actually underneath my hair and you can't really see them too well. And I think I like having like this part line showing. I'm gonna put a third one right here. Oh, that's so cute. It's like a little cluster of flowers. We're just gonna add a tiny bit of this Burt's Bees lip shimmer here. This is actually very similar to that other color of the lipstick that I wore yesterday, where it's very close to the color of my skin, but it's just a little bit darker. I don't have to worry about like a perfect application when I put it on or anything. And I know it looks kind of strange in this lighting, but it looks fine outside. I think this looks super, super cute. It's so whimsical, so adorable. And I think this is just a little bit more toned down, even though it's more whimsical. The other look was more edgy. The last thing I'm gonna do here, I like braidouts because my ends are clustered and grouped together so they don't snag as much as if they would be in a wash and go, but they're still out. So we put a little bit of oil on the ends, a bit of serum. I like serums because oils themselves make my hair feel gritty. And then we're just gonna kind of put it on here, and this serves 2 purposes. Number 1, if there's a little humidity in the air, the oil will just help to cut down on how quickly it reacts to that and preserve this for longer. And then number 2, this is going to be brushing against a little bit of my skin, but also some of my clothes, and the oil will help protect my hair a little bit, and it's lightweight so it doesn't stain my clothes. Okay, this is just so cute. I am so happy with it. I love it so much. I like that I was able to get a little length with this braid out and that I can still have a beautiful curly style without my ends being compromised and be able to reuse the Bantu knots from yesterday. Here's bonus footage of me getting a 3rd day out of this style. I put the braid out into a loose bun overnight and I ended up undoing a bunch of the Bantu knots, but I left the one at the very front because I thought it looked really, really cute. It was kind of like a fun little, almost 40s-esque rolled bang style. So you'll see me here separating the Bantu knots after I undid them so that I could put everything back into a disc bun. I did add a little bit more gel to slick the top since they had a bit of a bump in them from the Bantu knots and I wanted everything to be nice and contained. And then I went ahead and did a disc bun and wore it like that. And I had a lot of fun being able to reimagine the style as the days went on so that I could get the most use out of it. And even though you can see I have 3 different styles, I'm not over manipulating my hair. I'm simply making use of what I have and transforming it as I go along. That's the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching.